All right, hello everybody. Welcome back to VRML. For those who have joined us for the streams early on in the day, we're getting ready to start soon here with a maybe triple header. Waiting on one more player to join, and we've got a little bit of leeway, but not too much left over. Hopefully, here we can get started with Unqualified Scientist and Heatwave. So we are waiting on one more player, and providing they join, we'll be good to go on this triple header of a stream. But on the stream, I'm Palidore casting for you. We got so much for subtlety on the cameras, and co-casting with me is a SputnikKobra. So Sputnik, how's it going?
It's going well. I'm just looking at these teams, looking at their VR Master League page. Unqualified Scientists being silver, currently ranked 90th, and Heatwave currently ranked 88th in the bronze division. So fairly evenly matched teams. This should be a great matchup tonight.
Yeah, hopefully. Now, again, as usual, we're trying to give a little bit of leeway, but really it's going to come down to like the next minute. They still have the full 15. Ideally, they get the fourth player here. So kind of the deal is, if you're going to be streamed, just by the by for people watching, and you're in one of those stream blocks, especially in these evening times where we have multiple streams in a row, definitely want to be in there by the time the scheduled start time was, and if not, we try to give a few minutes of leeway, but out of respect for the teams coming after, we don't want to delay all too much. That's the thing. So
Absolutely, and to echo what Palidore said, it's all about respecting the time slots, because if you take too much time, you're depriving the other teams of the time that they have slotted. So whether it's unintentional, it's definitely unintentional. No one wants to be late. So it just comes down to pushing the time slots out of place and you really inconveniencing the other teams that are expected to show up on time.
well, okay, Dad. Yeah, we're trying to give leeway where possible. If it's just one of those casts where we have like one match in that stream or what have you, I'm fine waiting up to the full 15 because the teams are allotted that full 15-minute past start time. It's just more so on the busyness and of these evening time slots for the stream smoothness that we do have kind of that loose requirement. Be ready by start time, or at least within a few minutes. But being that I'm not seeing a join here, I might have to call it unfortunately, because we do have two more games starting first in 20 minutes. It'll be Gold Diggers and Chaos scheduled to start. Following that will be Team Mute and Absolute Unit.
And I look forward to those matchups as well. It's going to be an action-packed night tonight. So as we wait for this fourth player, I defer to you, Palidore.
Yeah. Well, I'm giving it to the, let's see, 40-minute mark, which is to say about 45 seconds from now. Otherwise, we'll have to peace, which I'm sorry to say, don't want to do it. And there he is, Albino Paper, into the game. All right, so we're good. We've got our fourth. I'm relieved to say, because I don't want to be the bad guy in that situation. Luckily now, we may not. So, the match will be starting here imminently. And, be this Unqualified Scientist team versus Heatwave. So these teams have been streamed before. Unqualified Scientists at least a few times there. And it'll be interesting to see kind of how this one plays out. Unqualified coming in with the silver ranking. And just trying to find their foothold, really, here.
Definitely, and looking at these connoisseur picks, Heatwave being favored with 15 votes, and Unqualified Scientists coming in with 4 votes, so I don't put too much weight into the connoisseur picks, but definitely heavily favoring Heatwave.
Round starting in.
Yeah, well, on as far as the rankings are concerned, Unqualified Scientists, yeah, they have the silver, 1140 MMR for Heatwave at 1140, also albeit bronze, but the separation not too much there. Of course, the roundup on the MMR, so Unqualified Scientists are a little bit higher in the ranks after these first couple weeks, but as we know, these teams continue to play these games. We're going to see more and more of these even matchups up the ladder. We just saw that first match earlier on of the stream, going to a double overtime in one round right now on overdrive. It's going to be Caracas with a shot here, getting it first 2 points.
Unqualified Scientist starting off strong, able to win that neutral joust, headbutt it down into the bubble of Heat Wave, and then Gracchus BE able to find that 2 points at 6 meters.
Yeah, so on the joust here, Heat Wave coming out, Neon Phoenix. Definitely remember that name just because it was the topic of discussion of the Heat Wave coming in indeed in Phoenix, where I live, or at least nearby. At the moment though, Albino Paper going for that goal off of Gracchus' head, so ties it up at 2.
Sounds like you need to turn on your air conditioning again. But Gracchus BE almost able to stop that one. It's going to bounce off of his head and find its way into the goal, so it's a tie game, a minute off the clock.
Yeah, so 2 apiece, and don't worry, AC is on, at least for now. As long as it's not coming through on the stream. Otherwise, I'm okay with suffering for the sake of the stream quality. I'll turn it off to not cause too much interference. But nonetheless, Sydney, they're going to run interference here at the mid lane, trying to get that disc back for their team.
And we'll bounce off the Geo into the hands of Heat Wave. Heat Wave will slap it down to the backcourt of Unqualified Scientists. Now it's a boost back into the bubble for Unqualified Scientists. Able to get that stun, but not find possession, and Albino Paper will pick it up, send it back to Bowtie.
So Sydney obtaining the disc, distributing it just in time over there to Albino. Albino, though, will be stunned out rather quickly right at the edge of the bubble, but recovering is Neon. Neon trying to go to the shoulder. Diving off is the goalie there, and manages to get a pretty nice tap towards mid lane, and looking like a recovery, however, still yet from Sydney and now Neon.
And not able to finish that shot, but the second shot will be stopped by Gracchus, but he won't be able to get that third one as Albino Paper snatches it out of a member of Unqualified Scientist's hands and puts it in at 4 meters.
Nice grab there on that first attempt, softly going towards the goal, but just barely denied on the quick turnaround from the goalie afterwards. And yeah, nice grab, as we often see, you know, these saves come through, but there's always offense well aware these days to get those rebounded shots. See some pogs in the chat there from either or. They're gonna go for a goal, but no, it's gonna be denied here initially, but not on the second attempt. Trespassing.
And both of these goals are committing to the rebounds. Trespassing able to find that rebound off his initial shot, and previously Heat Wave Esports was able to find their shot by continually pressuring the defense.
Nice job by Heat Wave. Meanwhile, now for their launch here on Heat Wave, that is to say, nice job from Unqualified, but also on Heat Wave's side, trying to pull ahead here. That's just 4-4, a few minutes off the clock. See Princess in the chat again, one of our moderators, league moderators, saying that they were Invictus was in a scrim with them, and complimenting the good communication from Scientists.
I've definitely played with Scientists earlier in the season, actually before the season started, and they just continue to improve. They focus on fundamentals, they focus on communication, and it's been paying off greatly.
And, well, getting knocked loose there on the disc, on the punch. We'll roll very close to that goal, just into the side wall now, where trespassing is there. Along with Sydney kind of hiding there. You can see the duck through, trying to maybe take trespassing off guard. Unable to do so, so a tap through will be slung to the back line, but there is a perma goalie there. It's Horror Potato.
And able to pick up possession, and not under pressure. He's going to try and send that clear. It will bounce off the Geo. Gracchus will pick it up. So Gracchus is going to take his time, fade back to mid, and try and wait for his team to get set up.
Yeah, it's what you like to see, not rushing too much. I mean, effectively kind of 0-0 here, in a sense, just both these teams nullifying each other to keep this game tied up across the first half of round one. Deep pass will go over to the anchored shot. Nicely done from Dual Helix. Just swinging around for that 2.
And that backboard shot kind of looked like a no-look shot. Able to maybe fake out the goalie with that effortless-looking shot off the backboard.
Yeah, that's absolutely. I thought maybe initial one, you figure just going to go for the direct route into the goal, but instead taking it off the back instead, which did ultimately throw the defender off just enough to get that through. And meanwhile, that shot will, well, sail back out just the top edge and slap through by Gracchus.
And the slap will go down in the hands of Trespassing, but he will lose this in approaching the bubble, but not able to finish the shot. Will bounce off the head of a member and then bounce off another head, so it will be a loose disc and slapped out by Trespassing.
Yeah, so here comes the stacks really quickly, but the brief overshoot and the dive out now. All players missing it just a little bit. A slap shot, almost making it right back to the hands here of Duel. But now Sydney and Albino up there trying to get the takeaway. A lot of hot potato play, but finally the shot does roll in.
Able to get that bounce off the top pocket crossbar and bouncing in, trespassing with a nice shot, fully extending his arm. Well played from Unqualified Scientist.
Yeah, and Phase OM Master saying, hey Palidore, it's Titan from Toxin. Oh, welcome, good games earlier. Fun to watch as usual from your team. Welcome to the stream. I'll have to remember your name there. There's a few different players who have different Twitch names than Echo names, so I'll remember next time, maybe.
All these different names, it makes it so hard to remember them between all the different accounts, but with this attempt at goal, it will be stopped by Unqualified Scientist, getting it out of the bubble right before that slam dunk. Will be picked up by the Neon Phoenix, trying to find that pass along ceiling. It will bounce out of bubble, and it's a scramble for possession as they try to clear it out of their backcourt.
And as they all kind of converge on each other there with a bunch of brawls, now trying to retrieve the disc all by their lonesome Sydney. But boosting quick his trespassing, getting the disc back. Now with his teammate latched on, Dual Helix on the foot. Maybe need to go for a clear boost to pass something. Just kind of getting rid of it in a scramble.
Sending it off the back wall will be picked up by Trespassing, who goes for that backboard and finds it at 7 meters. Well executed play with that boost and clear from Unqualified Scientist, and they'll take this 6-point lead.
Yeah, Trespassing again on that shot from just the edge this time, but he's up to 6 points, yeah, for his team, as well as 1 assist, 2 saves, 2 steals, 13 stuns. Every stat line being filled up by Trespassing.
To QB will be Sydney. Sydney will try and find that pass. It will bounce off the Geo, able to retrieve it as Trespassing along the wall, sending it to mid. And under pressure, Sheep Snuggle will be able to pick it up with that give and go. Now slightly out of position, Trespassing is trying to find an angle. He'll send it along the floor. Will bounce out of bubble. Will bounce past these second lines and to that back line, Gracchus BE to pick it up.
All right, so Unqualified Scientists with the disc. They have a solid lead here at 8 points, about 2 minutes left, and not finding the goal, but maybe a rebound instead as Trespassing just beyond his reach. Finally getting the disc first will be Neon Phoenix getting a clear.
And for it to sail down into that bubble, but it'll be picked up by this Unqualified Scientist stack as they boost back into position on defense, and they'll send it right back through tube. It's another chance for transitional play from these teams as they try and find their stacks, and coming through will be Unqualified Scientists, and making that attempt, it will be stopped by the goalie of Heatwave.
Yeah, Horror Potato just getting rid of that like a hot potato, swatting it away, getting the clear, and in the clear for a grab, barring overshoots as Trespassing needs to get that over to the midfield. 2 different players on his team, but problem is we still have that deep goalie here, perma goalie playing, and therefore they do have some options, but actually losing the disc here to Gracchus.
And Greg is under pressure. He doesn't see that approaching defender who will be stunned out. Still challenging possession. It will be sent through tube and into that bubble of Unqualified Scientists. So another moment for transitional play. But that stack from Unqualified Scientists is just too strong, and it beats them to possession as they slap it into the backcourt of Heatwave.
And Duel just getting approached on there, managing to get a little extra speed. So Sydney gets the disc over to Albino Paper. Now, needs to be careful because there are a couple defenders, has to find the back pass, and does. A bit soft, though, as the brawls unfold here. And now no one getting the disc as a result.
And it will sail into the ramp. 30 seconds goes through, and they'll pick it up, and they'll find the shot. Trespassing. So another great example of transitional play coming back from the bubble of Unqualified Scientists, finding possession at ramp, and then taking another attempt and finding it at 4 meters.
And nicely done to swoop in there off the boost and getting that nice sufficient goal here to, well, get the sufficient amount of time and points on the board here to take round 1. It's 12-4, favoring Unqualified Scientists.
And looking at these stats, Trespassing with 8 points, really coming through for Unqualified Scientists with 1 assist and 3 saves, so he's no slouch on defense as well. Gracchus coming through with 3 saves, 2 points. Dual Helix finding that 2 points off the backboard. And Sheep's Knuckle will be able to make 1 save and 13 stuns. So a lot of stats for Unqualified Scientists in this first round.
Yeah, well, for Heatwave's side of things, just not able to put on as many points as they wanted. Albino, the lone deuce there for the score on round 1. But you can see, however, I mean, 4 different players, all 4 players, have at least 1 save on the side here of Heatwave. So the defense is nice. I mean, they have a couple players with 2 steals as well, and but just, yeah, not able to get the offense going. So the defense can be good, but at the same time, if you can't really transition it into some good offensive sets, at the end of the day, you know, that's going to be the advantage of Unqualified Scientists here.
And it's the power of transitional play and being able to pull your goalie and play down court, play up court, and just find your positioning and respond to changes in possession.
Yeah, exactly. So Unqualified Scientists, just based off of those attempts and those just a little bit better, stronger transitional play, that's why they have the points that they do. I mean, otherwise you can see, I mean, a lot of the stats are pretty similar there in terms of the team stats. The possession time right about 50-50, not really a huge separation. Shots taken actually a little bit less for Unqualified for that matter, but just making better use of the opportunities that they were given, and therefore able to outscore by a decent margin. Now, I am getting messaged here also by one of the players, so Sputnik, you can indeed take the lead for a moment.
And looking at chat, I believe Thermal Turbo is a member of Heatwave, definitely on brand for that name, saying, I would have been playing if I could have found AA batteries, but he's hoping that his team evens up the score in the second round, and talking about different methods of play and different strategies, trying to find a solution for this perma-goalie. So with time, you'll find the strategies that work for your team, and I would just give it time, and I would keep pressing the point, as FaZe Owen Master says as well. And with both of these teams readied up, we will be underway with the round 2 neutral joust. First round going to Unqualified Scientists, and Unqualified Scientists looking to take this matchup in a sweep, 2 rounds, and Heatwave looking to take this round and force a third one.
Yeah, so off they go in this first joust here of round 2. Looking to have this return round for Heatwave, but Unqualified trying to deny just that with a grab. It's trespassing, getting a soft one that just out of the reach of Sheep Knuckles, and instead now Sydney will take it back and sling it through the tunnel where there's a lot of bodies waiting. So Albino Paper now gonna sling it out rather to the side wall. A lot more pileups forming. Trespassing does come away with it first, it would seem, and tries to get it to his teammate in mid, Gracchus, but once again, going to be tough with just all these piles. It's really difficult to kind of find that rhythm if you can't get those solid passes working. And now as a shot goes through, will be ultimately just slung out once more. And now back into the midfield. So taken here by Neon Phoenix, and Neon going to dish it off to Albino. Albino going to drive on, one-on-one, gets the shot through. Nicely done. Is Sputnik a rip?
11, 10,
I think so.
9, 8,
Maybe I am.
7,
Can the stream even hear me right now? Do I exist? That is the question.
4, 3, 2,
I am heard, confirmed subtlety. All right, in this case, will be Unqualified Scientists with the disc right back. And going to the mid lane, will eventually reach Sheep Knuckles, grabbing that by the Knuckles and looking to distribute there to the players on the opposite side of the ramp. Will ultimately be had by Horror Potato, but not for too long, because there's Trespassing going to drive it in, and a nice save there this time by Albino. So good job from Albino. Great job, in fact, rotating into the goal there after his goalie had initially left, but still yet it's going to stay here in the hands of Unqualified. and trying to get themselves a goal, but unable to do so. Neon Phoenix now going to take that one at the bottom and look for that mid lane clear, just taking some more bounces off as the players continue to contest each other. And we kind of saw a little bit of this earlier as well, and throughout some of these other games last weekend and what have you, just where, you know, when the pile-ups for, we always mention
What a pick!
spread the floor. Right now trying to spread out for a shot, the rebound not there.
The shot was blocked.
But yeah, when it comes to these big multi-man pile-ups, you know, you have three, 4, 5, 6, 7, or even all 8 players in one spot. It basically becomes a 50-50 just about on who's going to get the disc, and it turns into a game of hot potato where it's just really, you know, slap clear to slap clear, bounce to bounce. But then once you finally get those situations where, you know, you recognize, okay, my teammate here has a chance at winning this disc, I'm going to spread out somewhere else where I can retrieve an immediate pass. Right here, though, immediate on the shot. It's, well, Pass himself, trespassing, that is, getting it through and tying it up here, couple apiece.
12, 11, 10,
So nice work here
8, 7,
to tie it once more for unqualified scientists.
4, 3,
But yeah, you'll often notice when it does come against those pile-ups, if you do spread the floor, you give your potential receiver there, like whoever's going after that brawl and after that disc, if you give them some angles to immediately pass it to, and you're calming that, you know, in their ears, telling them, all right, if you get that disc, you know, I'm going to be here. I'm at Bowtie, or I'm at mid, or at Nest, things like that. That gives you a great opportunity to actually catch defenses off balance and give yourself those opportunities to score. And yeah, so want to see a lot of that if possible. Right here, just a hot shot, maybe even a self-rebound from Albino, unable to get that. So instead, waiting on the backline player there, Sydney to distribute over to Neon Phoenix, and a good save from Garakis. Phoenix not able to complete it, but on a rebounded attempt, Neon again, has it stolen by Sheep's Knuckles. Not sheepish on the defense, making a lot of sense on that end, and very well aware of where he needed to be. Now retrieving a disc, it's dual helix, but losing it again to get some more pileups. So once again, trying to stabilize, try and find an angle, but just slinging it right towards the goalie there. You can see the Nest pass awaiting, Neon patiently waiting, but the disc never did come off the pass. So instead, just gonna get the disc back and pass it themselves. So Neon Phoenix doing a great job to eventually find Albino Paper. Positioning was great, and really carrying kind of that possession there with the stable, or the stability, I should say, able to find the assist. Man, that's really what Heatwave needs to do. That's what both of these teams need to do. So otherwise, it becomes those games of just, you know, hot potato and who's gonna get it next. End to end. Oh, it will be almost a good defensive stand there. Albino looks like credited the goal, but will be shot off and tied up here for unqualified scientists on that possession.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
All right, so on this launch out here, we are gonna get
game on.
Sydney launching. You see again leaving the goalie behind, some stuns going through, but ultimately finding the hands here of Albino Paper. Albino now sending it down, but the opposite goalie there, Grakis, seen some good saves from him as of the last minute. We'll get it over to Trespassing. Now, Trespassing going for a bounce. He does have a player trying to get some boosts in the back, but unable to do so. Luckily for them, they don't pay for it. So getting the disc right back for unqualified scientists. They're going to find that pass towards a bow tie. The right idea, the initial catch off, but they'll still get the disc back. Now kind of slinging it down towards mid, but just into the awaiting hands of no one but the enemy team, unfortunately. So with that said, Grakis does retain the disc here. Going to avoid the defense if possible, and trespassing now at the trench. And up ahead, looking for the right pass, but maybe just not the comms. Looked like the teammate got caught off unaware. Nonetheless, they're going to drive this in, go for another pass attempt, but some positioning here, perhaps from blue team from unqualified, actually unable to get the disc, so clear instead will go to the deep end where that open goal awaits any boosted player who can get there first. Now will be Sheep's Knuckles able to, with a little bit of time to spare, not too much. And all the meanwhile, Grakis getting that disc back, slinging it up to the upper pocket. And taking it back here, trespassing not for a moment too long, because look at that, a big pile up, that 6-man, maybe even 7 pile up forming here with 3 minutes left in the second round. So being stolen from, but stealing it right back. Trespassing once again, so back and forth. Another sling, but guess what? Into the awaiting hands of the defense. And yeah, so if that's, as these teams do watch back, that'd be the one biggest piece of advice I can give for both sides. Just comment exactly where they need to go. Now that said, that was a very, very nice roll in there. Stunning out the goalie, and that was very, very well coordinated from Unqualified to get themselves a 2-point advantage. But yeah, you can see it really is just a game of back and forth slap clears almost going back into the defense's hands. So a lot of the time you'll, for higher level teams and teams who've been around for a while, close comms can include things like, you know, the light callouts, which is to say red, yellow, green. In other words, if your teammate has a chance of getting that disc, the other teammates on the floor are communicating. They're saying, you know, red, meaning you have no time to work with. So if you get that disc, you need to get rid of it. And it'll usually be followed by a position. So you'll say red bow tie, meaning you're going to be red, pass it to bow tie immediately. Going for a shot, not so immediately. That was a 6-meter just tissue softball that does sail in to tie it once more here. So nice job from Neon Phoenix for Heatwave getting right back on the board to tie it late in round 2. But yeah, similarly, going back to the callouts idea is if you have the green callout, means your teammate there is about to get the disc and they have plenty of time, several seconds to spare. They don't have to worry or immediately get rid of the disc. So you make that callout. If it's yellow, that usually means, well, hey, you have maybe a second to work with, a second or two, but not too long. So you'll say yellow nest, meaning, all right, you have a couple seconds, but pass it to the nest rather quickly. I'm up here. And those are the kind of things that will definitely, as teams develop and progress in the league and in competitive play, will make the big, big differences in earning those extra points and victories. Because, yeah, if you got those callouts locked down, those positions locked down, the passes, you're going to take defenses off balance over and over again. And really at any level of Echo Arena, but especially, you know, mid to high level, if any of you guys watch some of those exciting matches there between the returning teams from Season 1 this weekend, you'll definitely notice they take full advantage of numbers. It's all about the numbers on offense. Right here, trying to take advantage of said numbers. All off balance, trying to recover here, trespassing, but being stunned by Neon. So Neon gets the clear. It's tied up. Any score here is going to be devastating for either side. So needs to get rid of that one. A deep pass, just missing the hands, and now goalie trying to decide whether they need to dive or not. Will be taken here by trespassing. Disc lost once again. 15 seconds left, and now one clear. It's going to go into the awaiting hands of Sheep's Knuckles with 10 seconds left. Trying to deliver a bouncer, but will just be bounced right back. And back again. 5 seconds left. An OT, perhaps indeed, gonna be on the way. And now up to the speed on this next neutral joust, and up to whatever team can take advantage of the numbers first.
12, 11,
So here we go.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
All right, so OT about to be underway now. In the second round, right now it's Heatwave fighting for their lives. They're going to need to win this if they want to force that third round. Or potato for Heatwave, there it goes. So Unqualified Scientists, they won the joust, but really couldn't get any offense going off of that. I couldn't find that positioning. So instead, now some good boost coming in rather quickly. Need to get rid of it. This is when the red call would normally happen, but instead, well, they happen to find themselves at the lead, at the win. It's Neon Phoenix finding the inside of the rim, and that's 9-6. So third round it will indeed be. And I think SputnikKobra about to rejoin us. His internet just took a vacation for a good portion of that round, but he's about to be back here real soon. So excited to have the third round. However, see, because of the late start, this is where it gets a little, this is why we emphasize the timeliness on the stream games. But alas, I won't cry over spilled milk too much, or spilled Dr. Pepper as the case may be. I've already done that a couple times. It's not kind on the keyboard, let me tell you, folks. But in any case, we're getting ready to start off this third and final round here soon. And unfortunately, we'll have looks like a crash out or a timeout of sorts may be about to happen. So give me one moment as well. I'm going to mute myself and try and get some comms in real quick. All right, well, as it turns out, no time taken, so unqualified scientists, they are suddenly down, I believe, Sheep Knuckles there, and maybe lost connection, but nonetheless,
Got it?
still continuing on here, not opting for the up to 5 minutes you are allotted between rounds. So either or, trespassing, I mean, they're at the offensive advantage now. Can they convert is the question? No, will be stolen there a couple times now. Now being taken back here by Gracchus. Gracchus coming away and looking for that play to Duel, and Duel losing it out. And look, Sheep Knuckles is back in the mix. So no scores yet, but no problem apparently, as I think Sputnik also has rejoined us on the cast. Maybe. Well, his face is there anyways. His voice yet to be determined. But nonetheless, over to the pocket here is going to be picked up by Albino. Maybe, nope, just a mishandling, but Neon Phoenix will get the disc back. A nice pass off there onto the cutting player, and almost a second one if it wasn't denied by Sheep Knuckles coming out that crash and getting back. Now, back to the deep end, it'll be obtained by Horror Potato, trying to launch that off to the teammate there, Albino, but Albino being covered pretty well by the defenders, and now slinging it into the midfield, where there are another pair of players ready to obtain.
And it will sail down into that bubble. I'm sorry, I'm back. Had a little bit of technical difficulties myself, but able to make that stop, not having any technical difficulties of himself as Gracchus, but opening the goal. But luckily for unqualified scientists, that follow-up shot will bounce off the shield and back towards mid.
Yeah, so continuing on here then on this match, this is the third round, 8 minutes left remaining, as a very, very deep throw into the blue side of the floor will bounce into the bubble, then out of the bubble, and then into the hands eventually of Sydney, where they have that pass. A nice grab, very difficult one, but still got it. Now tapped out though by the defense.
And a nice slap out, but able to retrieve it is Heatwave, and they're going to try and get that pass off the Geo, but picked up by Gracchus and cleared out through Tube, so that will deny another advantage for Heatwave, but Heatwave's backline player, Horror Potato, will be there to pick it up, feed it up to Neon Phoenix, and now they're looking for transitional play. They have this advantage in the bubble, and looking to recover is unqualified scientists, but they're not quick enough as Albino Paper is able to find that 2-meter 2.
All right, so the first 2 points of this round took 2.5 minutes there, and Heatwave, the team coming in with, as we mentioned to begin with, that connoisseur advantage, looking to maybe prove it true if they can. But yeah, 2-0, launching out now on offense, Gracchus and unqualified scientists.
And it will sail into that back end of Heatwave. Heatwave's goalie will come out and slap it out of the bubble. Looking to retrieve it is a member of Heatwave, but snatched by unqualified scientists, set back up, and then snatched by Heatwave, so they'll send it up into the bubble of unqualified scientists. It will bounce off Nest and looking to retrieve it off ceiling, but getting stunned out, and now it's trespassing as he tries to send it for that clear, but Sydney's there at the tube and sends it right up to Neon Phoenix. So with this 2-point advantage, they're looking to extend it Albino Paper, trying to find that pass back. It will bounce off the Geo, and it'll be picked up by Sheep's Knuckle, who sends another interception. So they still have this advantage in trying to find the angle in the bubble, but getting stunned out. So they get denied another advantage from this unqualified scientist defense, but Sydney able to pursue it and find that 4-meter 2 beneath the goal.
Yeah, nice hit there from Sydney. And yeah, right up now by 4 points, about another minute off the clock since that last one. And unqualified scientists definitely in position where they need to score here soon, not give up too much rhythm to the favor of Heatwave. Just need to find it to the other side of the floor if nothing else, because if not, I mean, here you go. You do not want it stuck on this blue side, because definitely Heatwave is shown capable of punishing that.
And able to pick it up in their bubble with that quick stack, but they're trying to find it out of their back end, and it's not going to go where they want it, as Trespassing is able to retrieve it at ceiling, trying to find that pass off the Geo, but it'll be intercepted by Albino Paper. He's able to find that read and send it through mid for the clear.
Okay, so to the races, some back-to-back leeches, very nice. The shot, not quite, almost though. Some nice regrabs though from both that Heatwave and unqualified player, as Heatwave does get it back and gets it to Neon Phoenix. Now, Neon Phoenix looking for that very tough shot, kind of fading upwards as the shot now, or the clear rather, fades through mid.
And that backline player, Potato, will be there to pick it up, sending it right back up towards that bubble, but not able to find it at the ceiling as a member of Heatwave, but looking to get it at the floor. Be slapped out by Unqualified Scientists and picked up by Trespassing. So Trespassing has an angle for a long shot and will lose possession, and it's a scramble in the tube.
Scramble it'll continue to be, just brawl after brawl and steal after steal. Dealing it to Trespassing's hands. He has Sheep Knuckles and Gracchus both cutting. Gracchus getting a nice leech, so going for that goalie interference. And very nice getting the 2-point clearance for Unqualified. First 2 of the game, or at least of this round.
A well-placed shot in that lower pocket, able to get really close to the goalie, get the goalie to challenge him, and then find the shot anyway. So nice play from Trespassing.
Absolutely, and well, there you go. 2-point game, 4 minutes left. It's really just anyone's match here. It's been a fun one so far. You know, despite the couple delays in the crash. I mean, still, it's really been kind of head-to-head, and showing why. Again, I mentioned in previous weeks why we're looking forward to that 3rd week and beyond, because that's kind of when you really start to expect. As a nice check on from Sydney, checking in the luggage, that is, for 6-2, but. Yeah, 3rd week and beyond, these matches getting more and more even, and you're really starting to see the competition flare up here.
Absolutely, and looking at Heatwave, they're able to put the pressure on Unqualified Scientists, find advantageous positions in the backcourt of Unqualified Scientists, and find these shots, and continue to pull ahead in this 3rd round.
All right, so Trespassing now with a disc, some evasive maneuvering, just going to encroach, approach, and not get the goal, but has a few teammates in the area, still couldn't get it. Slung through to the tunnel now. And quickly to the Twitch chat, by the way, so we do have Chaos and Gold Diggers on this channel next. They are waiting, as that shot is waiting to maybe find the goal. Let's see. But yeah, that'll be on this channel. I think I may be splitting off as well to do Absolute Units versus Team Mute. Might cam that depending on what the time looks like. But yes, so stay tuned for the next matches. They're imminently approaching.
Potato to send that clear up into the bubble. Not able to find it on the ceiling is Gracchus, but trying to find it on the floor, and with the headbutts, it's a scramble for possession, but able to come back from the stun and find the clear is Trespassing, so able to deny that attempt from Heatwave.
All right, now Albino Paper getting the disc right back. Will bounce off the wedge, almost to the hands of Phoenix there waiting. If I remember last time you saw Phoenix Heatwave just a couple days ago on stream, definitely Neon Phoenix was piling on a bunch of points at opportune times. At the moment, really trying to find that extra little bit of buffer there. Another goal here for Heatwave as they retain it will be big.
And able to find that stun and approach the bubble and find 2 points is Albino Paper. Approaching the bubble, gets the stun, gets the shot at 5 meters. So now it's a 6-point advantage to Heatwave.
Yeah, a big hit there from Albino Paper. Definitely giving the paper cuts, just kind of death by a million cuts almost there on the extra opportunities. Don't want to give up those multiple attempts, because definitely you're going to pay for it as a defense, as we often see.
And Gracchus trying to find these passes, maybe a little bit of frantic play, they need to slow it down, but they are down by 6, less than 90 seconds on the clock, and the clear will come out, will bounce off ramp, and be picked up at the floor by Trespassing of a Qualified Scientist.
Yeah, and up high now with 1:11 on the clock and counting down second by second. I'm sure a Qualified Scientist feeling some of that pressure here, trying to finish this one out. I mean, it's not out of the woods yet, but it's getting mighty close in the next several seconds, especially as this continues to linger in the midfield.
And as these clears try to find their way through, they will bounce back into the hands of Heatwave. They'll send it through tube. It will sail past both members of both teams. And now it's a flurry fighting for it in the midfield and trying to get through under heavy coverage is Sheep's Knuckles. Sheep Knuckles trying to take that shot, but there's a goalie there, and Potato will pick it up and send it right back through mid.
And now with 30 seconds left, and now one more shot going right through for Albino Paper. Once more, million cuts, and it's 11-2 on the lead, and that will indeed conclude this game, at least in the next several seconds. Heatwave coming back to take round 3.
A great comeback from Heatwave, started off with a deficit in the first round, but responded in that second and third round, and they did it with style. So they will come away with this win in this matchup between Heatwave and Unqualified Scientists.
Walks away with the W.
And yeah, so we'll go to the stats screen in a second here. 11-2 on that victory. Won't linger too long because we do have that next game on imminently between Chaos and Gold Diggers. Control, Flirt, Delete stopping by, saying these names are prime for puns, just throwing it out there in case any casters are good with puns. Well, you must know your personnel, but I'm trying, to not flirt with these puns too much, show a little bit of control, but I know they are pretty elite. In any case, there's your stats. We're gonna go and be right back, okay? Yes. All right, hello everybody, welcome back once more. We're about to start here on this next match. I'm gonna give the ping over to the teams in the Discord. I appreciate them for waiting. Gold Diggers and Chaos, I know this was a anticipated matchup here that we're getting ready to begin, and happy to be able to get here to do it with Sputnik next to me on commentary. It's so much for subtlety over on the cameras. So SputnikKobra, what you got for me and how you feel it? I know he's for some of these players, we're pretty familiar with.
Yeah, I have a good friendship with Egret85. He's a longtime player, and I'm always happy to cast and support the players that I know personally, that I've enjoyed playing with, and I'm really excited to see how Egret and Chaos play, and Dano also being a caster and a member of the casting crew, and as well as Akadi. So a lot of players that I know from Chaos, not so many from Gold Diggers, but Gold Diggers has shown that they've been a strong team, that they've been quickly learning, and that they really can compete with the best of them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a pretty good test here. We actually saw that earlier, for that matter, on that match between High Voltage and Toxin, where High Voltage was a team that was coming back from Season 1 of VRML, and facing off against this rookie team in Toxin, who, again, rookies, up-and-comers, kind of new with the Quest beta, as we were seeing so many new players and teams forming in, but Toxin, an impressive team, and had a very, very good test against a returning team. And that's kind of the same case here in this matchup between Chaos and Gold Diggers, where it's Chaos, the returning team from Season 1 as well as pre-Season 1. Now, granted, the roster is a little bit different, but that's quite often the case for Chaos as it is anyway. But yeah, Dano's still returning here, not only a league moderator, but of course the captain here of Chaos, and going to put a talented Quest team, a rookie team, over here in Gold Diggers to the test, and that's going to be a very fun thing to watch, I do think.
Absolutely, as Ron comes through in chat saying, send those questies on a quest to nowhere. I wouldn't say that because this quest team is strong. They've been developing quickly. They've been playing well. So, you know, Chaos is also a strong team, but I wouldn't count out Gold Diggers.
Oh, yeah. To correct or to add on, I guess, to that statement from Mr. Ron, Quest users, they're going nowhere but up as we continue just to watch the competition and the strength of these teams and the chemistry evolve. It's really been a case where over and over again, we're just left impressed by the quickness in which these Quest teams, these rookie teams are starting to develop and find that meta, find that success. And, you know, it would not be a surprise. I think it'll still take a little while before we see too many rookie teams kind of approaching those upper ranks from like the returning teams. But I don't think it'll be that long. Yeah, you know, give it another season or two, and I'm really expecting these Quest teams, at least a portion of them, to really make up that difference fast.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see these Quest teams develop, and I've seen some Quest players decide that they're going to buy computers and buy a Rift S. So it's really interesting to see the change in players, and you never know what's going to happen. What is their preferred device? So it's a really interesting dynamic with Season 2 that we have this.
Yeah, and so at the moment, the teams have been notified they can start, though I believe Klex was having some sort of tech issues there with controllers, perhaps, or seems kind of like almost a deja vu of the last round when the last match on this stream. It was kind of a similar thing. One of the players were struggling with controllers and couldn't join till late. So, you know, feel for the issues. Just to clarify, same way we did at the beginning of round 1. So, you know, teams are allotted the 15 minutes by the rules past start time to start the game. So if there are extra issues they need to address, that's fine. For streams, though, we are trying to generally employ a 5-minute or so limit. That way we don't delay the next matches in the streams all too much. We do have another game at the 45-minute mark of this hour, so about 20 some minutes from now. And that will be Absolute Unit facing off against Team Mute. That said, all right, we're going to unmute and go to the first round here. And get started off with Chaos versus Gold Diggers.
And with this countdown underway, we should see this neutral just any second. And both teams coming out of the gates and winning it will be Chaos knocking it down towards the trap and picked up by that stack. So Goran Jr. with possession at the floor, sending it back to mid, and they'll reset at double diamonds to Akadi and look to pull this defense out of position.
Yeah, there's Goran. He's looking for a goal. He's going right in. Didn't need anyone else but himself as he drives it for the first two.
Quick rollout from Chaos, able to get that headbutt down into the backcourt of Gold Diggers, send it back to double diamond, pull out that defender, send it right back up, and find that advantage in the bubble.
So yeah, pretty quick, efficient way to score first there for Chaos. Chaos, of course, is a team who I'm always just a fan of watching their games quite often. They're pretty exciting here. And at the moment, though, Klex, I'm excited to watch this team too for Gold Diggers, as a nice stack comes in from Chaos to deny any potential shot or rebound opportunity. But excited to see the Gold Diggers team. I know that I've heard some good things being said about them in the Discords and among other casters.
Definitely an egret to send that pass up to ceiling. Goran to feed it behind goal, and they'll find another 2 points with Dano at 2 meters.
See Dubs in the chat there saying, my team went against Gold Diggers in pubs. Well, how did that go? Let me know. What was your review of this Gold Diggers team? Do we need to be concerned? But over here on the launch, Joust advantage going to that aforementioned team. And it will be Lolo immediately getting rid of it, and had to because of that very quick Chaos stack.
Chaos really finding their groove in this second season of VRML. They're just a different team. They're so fast, they're so quick, and able to find that 2 points is Dano at 2 meters.
Yeah, and Dano getting the shot off very nicely there. Of course, one of our numerous amazing league moderators here in Season 2 of VRML. At the moment, though, he's definitely not wanting to show any moderation on the offensive end. They're going to try and score again. And that's Chaos.
And Lolo trying to find that pass through mid. It will bounce off double diamonds up into trap. Be picked up by Egret. Egret's going for that long shot. Will be off target, but looking to retrieve it is Dano, but Dano will be stunned out and will sail back towards Bowtie. Will be picked up by Goran, and Goran sending that cross, and they have this attempt, but the stop by Klex will deny that opportunity, and trying to find a clear will bounce down towards trap, and they'll have another chance at this offense.
So sailing past, however, but the hands of two different Chaos players, both positioned near that bow tie, weren't able to retrieve. But that said, Dano McFabulous in good position to retrieve that one. A very deep pass, handed off with efficiency. But look at that, Lolo sees a disc and knows how to get rid of it too, off a great save.
Excellent prediction by Lolo, putting their hand out, getting it effortlessly, and under pressure from that stick, Egret will send it to mid. It will be into the hands of Goran, and Goran looking for that shot off the ceiling, and it won't be on target. It will bounce out of bubble, and will be picked up by Lolo.
Goran almost teaching Gold Diggers here a lesson in geometry, nearly nailing that ceiling shot, that boop shot that's been famous for a few years now by the man of that same name over in Europe. Now, the shot just missing off there. No one really in position for the immediate rebound for Chaos, so will just be a good clear coming through from Klex.
And bouncing off the wall and going past two players, and these stuns coming out, able to secure it as fire and trying to send it through that mail slot. Will be picked up by Akadi at the back line, and Akadi won't be able to find the clear as it goes into trap. But picking it right back up is Goran, and they will try and send it towards that bubble and find this advantage.
Oh, that was almost amazing. An unintentional, perhaps, bounce that eventually found Dano on that pass. If that shot had gone through, that would have been pretty silly in a good way. But nonetheless, there's Chaos trying to stack up. They get broken apart by the Geos. Still have enough time to get there first. No doubt thanks to some backline brawling. And it looks like Gold Diggers now just looking to, well, one, retreat a goalie into the, well, goal. And then the other three trying to spread the floor a little bit at mid.
And this is very fast-paced play, and they're finding interceptions on both sides of the court. Able to find that interception at mid and get this pass down the floor. Fire with possession, and he'll find that shot at 7 meters below the goal, right through the goalie's hands. So they've got 2 points on the board, only a 4-point deficit.
Yeah, definitely some heat behind that shot, and they'll take it. Assisted there by Klex. That was just a nice work up into the goal. Had an opportunity, took full advantage. So took halfway through round one, but we got ourselves a score here for Gold Diggers, showing a little bit of what they're capable of, but see what they can do against Chaos here on their defense. So looking like a turnover, actually. So nice defense here on the rollout.
And a slap down towards two, won't find its way through, but be picked up at the ceiling by Goran Jr. So Goran not under pressure, looking for that cross pass, will find it off the ceiling to Egret. Good spacing from Chaos, and Chaos now has this advantage in bubble, but another terrific save from Lolo and a clear out towards mid.
How about that, Lolo? Another save and right down the ravine, but Akadi with a retrieval up top, and now the upheaval on the goal. It's Egret, the score, and good assist as well from Akadi.
Akadi able to find Egret at ceiling, and Egret able to descend for that shot, but a nice flurry of saves from Lolo Rave. Lolo Rave able to make excellent predictions in the bubble and stop multiple attempts from Chaos.
And collects the disc, has it intercepted though by Akadi. So again, in some good position, trying for another long throw, but unable to do much with it. Turned over here, Fire now, scored those first couple points for Gold Diggers, but Deku looking to maybe get some more, assisting Fire, but no! Akadi not giving anything up in the goal. Definitely showing the defensive academics.
Akadi able to find that save off the backboard, but not able to find the clear all the way out, but they won't find that shot. It will bounce off the crossbar, back out of bubble, picked up by Deku. Deku trying to find that cross pass on that cut, but a stun will stop that attempt, and will now sail towards ceiling and be picked up by Klex.
Yeah, Dano really a lot of interference being offered there. So turnover here, maybe a clear, won't go through, but definitely some good credit to Dano on positioning and the brawls on a few different players there to really cause this disarray that we're seeing from Gold Diggers. That said, Collects still retrieves it and does get a bounce on over to the midline, but's just going to return to the hands of Egret, who gets a clear as well.
And sending it down into the hands of Goran. Goran, again, not under pressure. He's going to find his cross passes, avoiding that defender. And under double coverage, they'll send it right back to Goran. So great prediction, great passing from Chaos. And again, they won't be able to find that pass, but their positioning allows them to pick up the rebound and send it off the ceiling. And then another chance, avoiding these defenders. Dano in the bubble, he'll find the 2 points at 5 meters, so under heavy pressure, able to avoid those 3 defenders, find an angle, and put it in from in front of the goal.
Got to tip my hat to Dano there. That was excellent. The first attempt looks like got that pass above the backboard. Had a chance, he could have maybe shot it, but the way that he left his anchor was a little bit weird. It kind of got stuck. But instead of panicking or rushing, despite there being 4 different players there, what did he do? Was patient with it. He drove it in on said players, and he very purposely painted that top angle of the goal. So good placement, good patience, all the above. There's Dano from above, but down below. Rebounded, not the goal.
And Dano with 2 consecutive shots that will be off target, but not able to find the clear is Gold Diggers, who go back in the hands of Chaos. Gold Diggers trying to get their stacks on point, trying to get transitional play with these clears, but they just can't find the angle so far. And with that one, it will go through Tube, bounce off the Geo, be still stuck in Tube, and Chaos looking to get it through for the clear.
And they'll do just that, but Lolo's on the other end to deny. Will supply another clear, but look, it's Akadi doing much of the same, so kind of nullifying each other there. Those 2 semi-perma goalies at the moment we're seeing. And going to make any of those straight line clears very, very tough to gain any traction.
So Goran with possession will send it through Tube, and these goalies, they are playing their positioning well because their stacks are so strong from the other 3 players, so it offers them the ability to play more passively. But this full court pressure from Chaos is so strong, applying pressure wherever they find it to be. So they send it back to Akadi at the back line, and they're going to slow it down with this 8-point advantage.
Yeah, trying to do just that. Chaos in spurts, and when they do opt to slow it down and play that spacing, I mean, they've shown times across some of these streams where they really look so under control. Couldn't find that goal, unfortunately, but maybe a rebound here just the same. And indeed, Egret taking that away, but denying it is Collects. So stepping in, Lolo dropping out, but Collects just the same, offering the same kind of goalkeeping on that play, and might find himself the beneficiary of that open 3. Oh no, couldn't make it, barely off.
And Akadi will find the clear through mid, and that will be this round into the hands of Chaos with this 8-point advantage. And looking to put another shot in, they will. So they will extend it to 10 points, and Egret will finish the round out.
So 12-2 because of that. Dropping a player at the end, of course, in this intermission, they do have the option of coming back with the 5 minutes. I should say. It won't count towards the tech timeout since the round is over. You can take up to 5 minutes between rounds if desired. So ideally, they'll be able to get Lolo back in the match. The thing is, though, even after that crash, they had the open goal attempt from 3-point land. So if you take away, that last second shot there, kind of conceding the game, the round, and had that 3-point gone in, it would have been a 10-5 finish in round 1. And I know you can say, coulda, woulda, shoulda, but the main point of that is that had that 3 gone in, really, the score difference would not have been that significant. So slightly misleading here, seeing that 12-2.
And I wouldn't count Gold Diggers out just yet. This is only the first round. They can adjust their strategies, and they're playing very physically. You can see this intense play from both teams.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Very physical. Chaos doing a fantastic job, really, just of that control and offering just a lot of trouble when it comes to those extra opportunities. You can see that 72% shots taken were indeed from Chaos, as well as 65% of the possession time. So yeah, that control, and even when they couldn't find the initial goals, just the consecutive drives were just enough to buy them that point advantage by the end of the day.
And with Lolo back in the court, back in play, they're going to start up this second round. first round advantage victory to Chaos. So Gold Diggers looking to get this win and force this third round.
Yeah, and maybe a false start there. Interesting. So teams restarting again.
Orange team ready.
Hopefully re-redding right away. Looks like that's the case. That was a lot of R's in there. Indeed, so I'm not sure what went on, but just a brief delay. So Psych going to a second round now.
12.
And with this neutral joust countdown underway, we are in the second round, looking to see who's going to pull this off. Chaos trying to get this sweep, and Gold Diggers trying to get this win and force this third round and stay in this matchup. And to win it will be Egret taking possession at mid. Not under pressure yet from that stack, but they will find it. So Plex with the snag, and under pressure again, they'll lose it. And just back and forth to start this round.
Yeah, the second round, absolutely ducking on through, trying to back it out there. Our Gold Diggers will retain it though for Chaos instead. And it's as I said, I saw a couple comments in the chat saying, you know, the maybe unbalanced match, this or that. I mean, granted, I could be Casper's cursing it right now, but again, had that, if you just deny the last second, you know, goals there, could have been a 10-5 game. And even then, ending 12-2, that's not a blowout. It's not, especially against a returning team like Chaos and Egret getting the disc. But, you know, this is an experienced team in Chaos, and it's not like they're just absolutely stomping their way through this match. They still have to work for it. And on their offensive drives, it's not like they're scoring on the first opportunities for a lot of these. They need to take 2 attempts sometimes, 3 attempts sometimes. So I think, you know, the whole matchup here, it's not as off balance as, you know, you would think at all. There's a reason why Gold Diggers are talked of with pretty good praise among the rookie teams here.
Absolutely, and different teams play at different paces. They have strategies that work for them, and Chaos seems to slow it down, and slowing it down will allow them to find that stop and steal. And pursuing it is Gold Diggers, so Gold Diggers with possession, Klex trying to find that angle, and he will, so that's a 1-point advantage to Gold Diggers. No one's out of this game just yet, and proving their ability to adjust is Gold Diggers.
Absolutely. Now, see, I was hoping for it, and just in general, as I mentioned, season 1, that was the case where by week 3, you'll start seeing these matchups even out a lot more. It really just depends on, again, those initial placement matches of sorts across the first couple weeks, and I didn't quite know what to expect, being that we have so many teams this season in comparison, about 3 times the amount we did in season 1, but thus far, I mean, matchups are looking better and better. We're seeing the ranks kind of making a lot more sense, so I'm expecting some good ones as Goran goes for a jump pass, unable to really get into the hands of his teammate, but Egret is going to go in for, a clearly good save actually from Lolo Ravi again.
Lolo able to make 3 saves between these 2 rounds and able to stop that attempt there. So looking to play in transition and get this disc in the tube is Klex, and able to secure it, now trying to start his offensive push.
Yeah, but unfortunately, kind of fumbling around with the disc, will eventually bounce to Egret. Egret getting stunned out, and Klex coming through with that disc as well as the clear, but there's Akadi on the other side to deny any forward momentum into the blue zone.
And it will sail down into Lolo's hands at that back line, so Lolo trying to find that clear, trying to find that pass, will bounce off the Geo, and now with this advantage is Egret, and he'll take this shot and he'll find it at 16 meters.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, the goalie just taking the risk, leaving goal a little bit exposed, trying to read that bounce. But then because of that, Egret, the longtime veteran player here, going to punish that fairly reliably, and did so there. So they're up by 2 points now, 5-3, 6:35 in this round, second round, and off we go again.
Lolo to QB, sending it along the floor. It will bounce along the Geo up to ceiling. And trying to pursue it is a member of Chaos, but not able to get that shot. It will sail right past the goal. And still in this, Deku to pick it up. Deku trying to pull that defender out of position, and they're going to send it to the back line to slow it down.
Well, that's great patient play there on the back pass, but unfortunately thrown into the hands of Goran. So Goran with maybe an angle. That goal is exposed. We saw him attempt a bounce shot earlier. Doesn't need to this time, and instead pinning it off that barrier. Lolo Ravi been playing great backline, midline defense, all of the above. Gets a clear right through, but Dynamic Fabulous there to meet the disc and trying to now just meet a clear.
and sending that clear into the hands of Deku at mid. It will be picked back up by Dano, who sends it right back towards that bubble.
Ooh,
and almost with that
jeez.
shot, it will sail past the goal by inches, and Dano will pick it right back up, send it to Egret, and Egret will try for the shot and find it at 7 meters.
Whew. Very tightly woven shot there. Almost saved, but unable to do so. And yeah, Egret, I mean, making defenses pay day to day, yeah, for a number of years now. Again, just a good experience. And Egret was the one in the match a week and a half ago or so. He had a great game-winning shot at the very end. I think it was a high voltage, I want to say. So, you know, Egret, very good player.
Egret certainly accomplished. He's been around for a while, and he can show his skills when he wants to. And trying to find that clear, it will go past both members of both teams and be slapped out towards Tube, and it's just an exchange of possessions from both of these teams.
And Fire with that disco looking to dish it down below, but just sailing right past Lolo there. Collect's kind of biding the time, not trying to approach too hard and just kind of wait for the clear to go through. But unfortunately for them, there's a shot not as precise as they needed to be, but the stacks were speedy enough to get it back. Goran, the sidestep and swiping it right up there. And that's credit to Chaos here for 9-3 on the scoreboard.
Strong bubble play from Goran, able to avoid those two defenders, but with a crash out, looking like Akadi may have lost connection. So they're now at this man disadvantage and not calling the time stoppage. It will be play continuing with Lolo Ravy QBing, sending it to Tube, and then sending that interception at the back line into the hands of Egret.
All right, so we saw this towards the end of round one. We had one player for Gold Diggers drop out, but now it's going to be opposite here for Chaos losing out. So for Gold Diggers, they're going to try and capitalize. Can they? Will they? Oh, mishandling on the anchor, though. Very tough, and losing that opportunity now as it gets cleared into the orange zone.
You can see Lolo a little bit frantic, waving their hands. They definitely didn't want that to happen. And unluckily it did, but picking it back up will be Klex at the back line, sending it up to Fire, and they're going to take their time with this positional advantage and man advantage, sending it up to Deku. Deku now has this goal in front of him and trying to avoid these defenders, looking for that pass, but not able to find it as it sails past his teammate.
So Dano retaining here, and oh, just past the hands, but there's the immediate stack coming in hot. Overshooting just a bit as it sails right outside that three-point area into the hands of Egret, trying to dive out on it, but a save there coming through from Fire, it looks like, just pinning it off that, I think the head, but either or, getting it back into the other side. Goran awaiting the disc and now has some options to go to with Egret and Dano.
And with possession, Dano in the bubble will find that 3 points at 8 meters, 17 meters a second. Goalie wasn't able to stop it, so this is a 9-point lead to Chaos. 2 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, and got a feel too for Gold Diggers as well, because they had a couple times where those opportunities to maybe score, but just unable to do so. Just barely some unfortunate issues there. But that said, even maybe more unfortunately, perhaps Akadi is back in the game. So now back to a full 4-on-4, but on full force with the display. But nice play from Goran Jr. to save.
But not able to find the clear all the way out. Will be in the hands of Gold Diggers. They need to wrestle control, find their passes along the ceiling, and they will have this attempt, but not able to find it. They'll be stunned out before the shot will come through, and it'll be slapped back towards mid.
Now, no one there in the midline to recover, and, well, there is a lightly boosted Dano awaiting, getting stunned. Him and Klex really just nullifying each other with a double kill, but Deku losing the disc to Dano, and he's not going to miss at all. 15-3.
And that's another 3 points for Chaos at 8 meters. Dano able to get the snag from that stack, and they just didn't see him and able to extend the lead by 3 points.
So about 1 minute left, rounding down this second round, and Chaos looking to take the victory here, it does seem.
With possession, Lolo to QB, Lolo up at mid, sending that pass to Tube, and they'll be able to get it past these defenders. They're not able to find the reception, a member of Gold Diggers will be stunned out, so Chaos with possession, Egret having it at mid, sending it through, bouncing off the Geo, but looking to recover it will be both teams at trap. And not able to find the stun, they'll send it up to Nest, pulling him out of position will be Goran with that reception. And another pass will come through, that cross attempt with too much pepper on it, and will go past his teammates, and now it's a chase for possession at ramp.
Thought you were almost gonna say too much pepperoni, but yes, over here to Dano. He's gonna make another 3-point goal right from that bottom corner. And all of a sudden, that lead really did balloon over the last couple minutes here.
Dano looking for that cross pass, but it just goes into the pocket. I didn't even see that one on point, but it definitely did go in the goal. So with these few seconds running out, it will be 18-3, 15-point advantage to Chaos. Chaos will take this in 2 rounds.
All right, so yeah, victory to Chaos. And I still kind of want to emphasize there too, though, a few different things. The rhythm got a little bit off there for the side of Gold Diggers in that second round. But again, a couple things went differently if they had in that first round, and even in the second round before that big scoring run from Chaos, it could have easily gone a different way. I mean, it was not the first round differential wasn't too much. I mean, there was a last second 3 in there, an open goal as the round was already over basically. So I mean, the margins there's not that much separation is what I'm getting at really. I think there's a lot of good things to take away here for Gold Diggers. They still showed some pretty nice defense, quite frankly. You know, up until that last few minutes. I mean, otherwise Chaos was having to take a lot of shots to score as many points as they did. It wasn't just pure efficiency. It was high volume shooting from Chaos because of the defense from Gold Diggers. But meanwhile, you know, Chaos, that control that we know them for and that they're showing more and more of lately, able to get it going there and yeah, come through at the end of the day with the win.
Absolutely, and looking at these scores, looking at these stats, we've got Dano with 15 points, Egret with 11 points, 4 saves from Akadi, 25 stuns to Goran Jr., along with 4 points, and I'm sure there was a crash out. I'm sure he had more than that. So Klex will find 3 points, 2 steals, 1 assist. Deku with 17 stuns, and Fire will come through with 2 points and 24 stuns. And to finish off, Lolo Ravi with 7 steals, and I'm sure they had a few saves in there. They definitely had some great prediction.
6 saves. Yeah.
6 saves.
And they were some sick saves at that. Very impressive on that end. Real quick, Chaos, there was Dano with 15 strong points, 11 for Egret, 4 for Goran, Akadi with 3 assists and 4 saves. And yeah, plenty of assists and saves really across the board, as well as the stuns for all of Chaos. But that said, we have one more match here in this tri-stream that starting, well, imminently. So we're going to go over to that. It will be Team Mute versus Absolute Unit. So we're going to switch it up right here and be right back in a couple minutes. So stay tuned. All right, welcome back, everybody, to VR Master League. We have our third match and final match of this particular stream block getting underway momentarily. It's going to be a match here between Absolute Unit. Saw some fans in there in the Twitch stream starting to pile in, cheering them on, and facing off here against Team Mute. And on the casting booth here, it's well, so much for subtlety on the cameras once more across these streams. On the casting end, I'm Palidore, and casting with me, SputnikKobra, for this third one in a row. How's it going, Sput?
It's going well. I've been enjoying these games. I'm getting a little tongue-tied. These 3 games in a row. It's as tiring for these players as it is for us, but I enjoy every game, and I love casting just as much as I love playing. And can't wait to see who triumphs in this matchup between Team Mute and Absolute Unit.
Yeah, absolutely. So both of these teams have been streamed before, I believe. Yeah, just once it would look like. So kind of making their secondary debut, if that is such a thing. I don't know. But either way, making another appearance here, and looking forward to seeing both these teams. Team Mute coming in at bronze. Absolute Unit coming out at gold. The rounded MMR are the same there at 1140. Still trying to find that separation here. Now we've seen, again, both these teams on the stream before, but kind of stream to stream, Sputnik, it's still a case where we're trying to build that mental library of what all these players are all about and what they're capable of. So as far as predictions, I'm kind of off of this one. I'm just hoping for a good match.
Absolutely, and looking at their ranks, you've got an Absolute Unit ranked 86 with a gold division, and you've got Team Mute with the bronze division ranked 87th. So, like we said, as these weeks continue to go forward, we'll see better and better matchups. And I'm really looking forward to see which team wins. I don't know many of these players, but as we cast them, we learn more about them and how they play.
Yeah, well, connoisseur-wise, they have 9 votes in favor of Absolute Unit to win. We have 4 for Team Mute. But that being said, especially in these early weeks, it is not an uncommon thing whatsoever to see some of these connoisseur upsets with some regularity. In fact, even in Season 1, that was the case with a lot of the experienced teams, especially towards that last month. That there was, I don't know how many connoisseur upsets. So, always take those with a grain of salt. But that is the community idea here, is that Absolute Units have the absolute advantage. We'll see if that's the case.
Definitely, and slapping it back towards the backcourt of Team Mutes. Kalamata to pick it up, but losing possession on the wall, be picked up and slapped back by Dune. So Dune slapping it towards the backline player of Absolute Unit. They will lose possession and be picked back up in the 2 by Horse.
And getting that through with some force into the awaiting hands, though, of Ocean High, and trying to go for that pass over here to Emperor. And Emperor clearing it off the wall, maybe just trying to give time for his stacks in the back line to maybe get there. But at the end of the day, they're just going to spread the floor a little bit at mid now and give some time here for Absolute to just get it going.
An Absolute with possession, they'll send it for that interception. And Team Mute will send it back towards the bubble, but it'll be slapped back towards ramp. It's back and forth from both of these teams. They're trying to find their rhythm, and Emperor Ming with possession to fade back to mid to find a pass, to find an opportunity, and sending it to Kalamata.
Yeah, and nice little juke there from Kalamata, going to reposition and just as well keeping the floor spread pretty nicely here. Holding on to the disc for too long, maybe. So as is the case, and we saw that even with the last matches on the stream, holding on to it too long, and you're giving these defenses opportunities for these nice steals. And at the end of the day, though, Team Mute's still going to obtain that disc right back.
And trying to find that clear and boost, but it will bounce off the Geo. Master Game will pick it back up, and they're going to lose it to Speedbird. So Speedbird with possession. Speedbird of Absolute Unit will send it towards that bubble of Team Mute, and that backline player is looking to pick it up.
And let me tell you something as well, though. They may be called Team Mute. I know the comms muted for the stream, no doubt, because there's open comms going through. But these teams, both of them, anything but mute. A lot of good comms coming through here, trying to just find their best opportunities. I hear the red, green, yellow calls on occasion, so like to see that, like to hear that.
And with that headbutt towards the bubble, but not able to retrieve it, is a member of Team Mute. But picking it up at the ceiling is Kalamata, sending it across to Ming, and Ming looking for that attempt. Will bounce off the backboard and be wide, but they'll pick it back up at floor, and Emperor Ming will look to restart this offense all over again.
Yeah, Emperor finding the great pass there to Kalamata. That was hot as calamari. He got the first 2 points.
And finding that shot above goal, so that's 2 points. That's 3 minutes off the clock. That's a 2-minute 53-second goal time. So with possession now, this joust advantage is absolute unit. And looking to QB will be Horse. So Horse taking his time with this slow roll out from Nest to Bowtie, trying to find these angles and sending an interception. Master Game will shut down that attempt and send it back towards Bubble.
And now as some more boosts come through, again, I really do like what I'm hearing in the comms and hear from Absolute Unit, asking their players to spread out, get open, also asking for the calls, what am I, how much time do I have, things like that. That's those kind of subtleties, shout out so much for subtlety, really do lend a lot of appreciation just to the development of these teams. And oh, look at that Jesus Horse swooping in, and indeed, that was godly from him.
But not able to find the clear, will be picked up by Emperor Ming. They'll send it up to Master Game, and Master Game looking for the attempt and brute forcing it through at 5 meters. It's a 4-point lead to Team Mute, pulling ahead in this first round.
And the Pog coming out from Thunder Ragnarok, cheering him on. And yeah, that was a pretty nice save, but at the end of the day, it was Team Mute able to get their 4th point on the board just through pure battling and persistence.
Forced to take his time to pull that defender out of position, trying to send that clear. Will bounce off the Geo towards floor. And Ciota looking to pick it up. He's got time. He's on the floor. He's got the chance. Fading to wall, sending it to Shield, but it won't be on target, and will go back to the backline player, Horse.
All right, so he's gonna ride his horse up to the front line here. Look for that pass to the Nest. So Horse to the bird, and speed into the goal. It's 4-2 for Team Mute.
Able to find that nice play in movement. Able to hit his player while they're moving above that goal on that cut. So 5-meter 2. It's only a 2-point game, less than 5 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, it was a speed bird right on the nest, or right above the nest. Very fitting. To be honest, when I said that, I didn't even realize the player had bird in their name until it's caught, so it just worked out that way. As a speed bird that aforementioned does get it back here, and now trying to find some angles, but actually pretty cut off there by Team Mute.
Emperor Ming will find that interception, getting possession as soon as it left the hands of a member of Absolute Unit. So Absolute Unit with possession, trying to send it through tube. They'll find it down towards the bubble. It's now a race for possession as players try to get back in position, and a slap will come through from a member of Team Mute. It will go into the hands of Speedbird, who's looking for this shot. He's going to send the pass, but Ocean High will get the stop and send it through mid.
Ocean bye, says, as it waves goodbye to the defender. That was good. Being interfered with on the stuns, but still managed to stun out that botherer. And now they're going to, well, see if they can bother for a goal. It's Kalamata again, another score here. Team Mute up 6-2.
Good attempt and good finish from Kalamata with the assist by Master Game. So it's back and forth from both of these teams. 2 minutes, 30 seconds on the clock. It's anyone's game in the first round.
Really is. I mean, the couple goal advantage here for Team Mute, but in terms of possession time, I mean, it is 50-50. There's literally up until right this second, they were dead even there, 2:17 apiece. So no one holding it for too long or controlling the disc for all too long. And there it is again with another steal. Possession back, perhaps, to Kalamata and Co.
Kalamata with possession, not under pressure just yet, trying to find that shot. It will bounce low of the goal, back into the hands of Kalamata. So he's going to slow it down, look for his pass attempts, and try and take them. But instead, he's just going to go for this shot. It's going to be stopped by Dune, and they'll find the clear through tube.
Yeah, rather bold shot there on the goalie. Maybe the shooter there kind of looking for the interference to be ran on the goalie as opposed to the pass. So maybe light miscommunication. Let's see what happens here, though, if they're going to pay for it or not. I mean, there goes Kalamata again. Had a couple nice shots, unable to get that one, but a rebound. Oh, cannot find that sound of the goal going in either.
So we'll bounce back towards 2, but be picked up again by Kalamata with this 4-point lead in favor of Team Mute. They're looking to extend it and not able to get that pass through and still under pressure. They'll lose it. So Dune of Absolute Unit will pick it up, but sending it for the clear will go back to the hands of Kalamata, and he can start his offensive push all over again.
It's a very close game still, lower on the offensive scoring kind of end, but definitely the pace still pretty fast here. The Speed Bird coming in, fairly hot, but so is that boosted player. Doesn't matter, gets it through the layers of 2 defenders. It's a 2-point match here as we wind down the first round.
12, 11.
And just above 90 seconds on the clock, this is still anyone's game. 2-point deficit, 2 Absolute Unit, they can come back. 90 seconds on the clock, it's really anyone's game. I'm really excited to see who's going to triumph in this first round.
Absolutely, same here. We'll see. Quick shout out as well to Twitch chat once again. Thank you for joining us throughout these 3 matches, whether you're here for all of them or just some of them. Glad to have you. Glad to have the disc here. Is Dune with a stun and maybe an opportunity at an open goal.
And taking his time, he'll lose possession. Kalamata will make the dive from Bubble and find it. And up by 2, they're looking to extend this lead. They're looking to secure this first round win. Sending it to that backline player. Dune has possession. Sending that cross pass will be behind target. So they're not as collected as they want to be as they approach this bubble, but they'll collect it on the floor. They'll lose possession off that pass. They'll slap it back towards ceiling, and it will go into the hands of Kalamata with that clear attempt.
Clears it out.
Attempt is the key word. The second attempt, a bit more successful there. Now the goal on this end of the floor, also open. Will they have enough time to convert, though? There comes a boost. Very nice, but letting the disc loose. Rebounded right back to the hands of Master Game, and maybe calling game on that rebounded putback. So 8-4, and just a exciting finish here in that last minute.
6.
Absolutely, and with that score, that will be the first round to Team Mute. Second round is anyone's, and this is back and forth from both of these teams, so I could see this easily going to 3 rounds.
And one more grab, time running out there, so 8-4. See a lot of the absolute puns coming in from Sheep Knuckles and Lone Leak there. Lone Leak feeling a little bit lonely, saying absolute sadness. Well, I'm sorry. Maybe in round 2 it'll be Absolute Units round. Quick shout out also, by the way, to those who followed the channel here. I see Holy Spider with a follow, Ultimate Gamer, and I am really sad that I missed this one about half an hour ago. Benjo Kazoo Boofhead. That name makes me happy somehow. But yes, also Flaming You VR. Well, don't flame me, please.
Definitely gotta find your kicks where you can get them, so thank you for following us. And looking at these stats, we've got 4 points to Master Game, 4 points to Kalamata. So really starting off this series strong. You got 4 points to Speedbird with these brilliant breakthroughs on the defense and able to find the shots through 2 lines of defense. So great offense from both of these teams.
Yeah, definitely. As you said, it was anyone's game, and I want to continue to emphasize too, or just to at least make note of, because it does put a big smile on my face when I see or hear teams like this, where, you know, I'd left the comms unmuted just on my end. Stream can't hear it, but I can hear it, and my ears were absolutely filled up the entire time. But say that in a good way. The amount of callouts and the positivity, even on some of these lost, like from Absolute Units, you know, a few different times, you know, where something didn't go their way, but there was still a good positivity in there. There was still, you know, that's okay. Let's regroup. Let's spread out, you know, things like that. And I heard it really from both teams. So I love hearing that from the rookie teams, just able to kind of keep that positive headspace, recognizing what they need to do. So even if sometimes mechanically, maybe a pass or a shot misses, you know, it doesn't matter because they got the right ideas, which means as they get more practice and as they do get mechanically better, they already have the good team concepts in mind, which will bring them a lot of more success in a faster period than you would expect maybe from average rookie team.
And Sheep Snuggles coming through in chat saying, hey, Palidore, any chance to get those comms during the replays?
Probably not. We keep open comms sometimes for certain streams unmuted. So you know, if exciting goals happen or you know funny banter happens, we kind of catch that on streams. But as far as closed comms goes, we do. You know, because most of the PC players, if not all of them up to this day, do use private comms. The reason we have some of these public comms going through from these teams is because they're on quest and you know they just opt for the gentleman's agreement to mute each other in the meantime. But you know, not necessarily looking to flat out expose everyone's closed comms, I guess, in that sense. So I'm just talking in generalities here. You know, I'm not giving specifics on you know what's named what, but just kind of speaking from the broad standpoint, I do really like what I'm hearing from these teams, and you know they're very calm and collected on the whole.
Absolutely, and there's this fine line between engaging the teams and allowing them to be heard, but also exposing their strategies, and it's really this fine line to try and find where you're on it.
Yeah, well, it's more so, especially because the PC players have the you know, quote unquote advantage there. They have the benefit of not, you know, being kind of forced into the open comms for the moment. I do know the intention has been expressed, I do believe, from Rad to implement some private comms game side. So in private matches for Echo to just be kind of the vanilla thing available. So eventually it'll be more equal on that ground, but otherwise it'd be a little bit iffy, I guess, you know, displaying the pub comms of the Quest players, whereas the PC players do get more of a choice in that regard. But it's still, as I said, it's still fun to watch. So for the meantime, I'm not gonna be replaying it on stream all the time, but at the same time, it's fun to listen to, as long as it doesn't get too confusing for the casting end.
Yeah, I can't listen to the teams, especially if they're mainly open comming, because it's just too much chaos for me to focus through. But Palidore able to find the ability to do that, so more power to him.
It's a game-to-game thing sometimes. Depending on the day, depending on how much food I had that afternoon, I might have better concentration than others, but, you know, yeah, it's fun. By the way, the delay, just in case those are wondering, I'm not sure the exact purpose, but there was a restart, so that's why we're sitting here on the score screen for a little bit extended amount of time than usual. But Twitch chat, Lone Leak saying absolute comeback time wouldn't be out of the question. I definitely hope to see those third rounds at every opportunity, just from the entertainment standpoint, as per usual. Love to see it.
12, 11, 10,
Definitely, and because we already have a team called Absolute,
7,
and absolutely being one of our like transition words, so I'm gonna start using definitely. But with this countdown, we'll definitely have this underway. First round going to Team Mute,
sends it back the other way.
and it will sail down towards that bubble of Absolute Union, back in the hands of Team Mute. They're looking to retrieve it off the trap into the hands of Master Game, sending it up to Emperor Ming, and Emperor Ming gonna take it to the side of the court, try and find an angle and send it right back to that back line.
So at the wedge, Kalamata with the disc. You can see the cutter over there to the bow tie was ocean high. Meanwhile, down below, in the deep blue trench, unable to find any kind of goal though, but a rebound instead. Master Game going in through the lane, but a second attempt denied, this time by the goalpost, and back to the wedge again.
Picking up will be Emperor Ming, but that stun will not come through. He'll be able to find that pass up to Kalamata. So Team Mute with good passing, but not able to find that last pass, but able to get the rebound as Master Game. And the stop will come through by Ciotos, and he'll find the clear through mid.
Yeah, that was a really nice dive there by Ciotos as they go for the launch out here. I mentioned that a lot as well from goalies. A good separating factor kind of between newer goalies and experienced ones is knowing when to dive, when to leave that goalpost. And you saw the offender approaching from a rather sharp angle there from the corner of the goal. Not a lot of shooting options. So the dive, definitely very pertinent, and it helped them get the disc onto the other side. Of course, that was a couple plays ago, because now it's right back here again for Emperor and Team Mute as they go for the three, but another ding.
Not able to find that open three, but able to pick it right back up is Emperor Ming. He's going to try for that shot. It will bounce off the top of the crossbar, back out of the bubble into the hands of Master Game. Master Game's going to send it to that backline player, and they're going to slow it down, try and find their passes, sending it to post, and able to find that shot is Emperor Ming. So maybe not on the first time, on the second time, but he'll find it on that third time.
Yeah, several extra attempts are definitely going to hurt any defense who allow that to happen. Of course, some good positioning from Team Mutes, and talking about the running themes, continue to beat that dead horse. Not the horse here with the disc right now, but just in general. I know I say it a lot, but if you're positioned well on offense, on every lane, even if you miss your passes or miss your shots, you'll still have a good chance at a rebound.
And Emperor Ming with that long shot attempt almost did, and will bounce off the crossbar. But again, they're playing their angles right. They're playing their positioning, and they get the rebound. So Emperor Ming with taking another chance off the backboard. It will not be on target. Will sail into the hands of Ciotos, and Ciotos won't be able to find that clear. But pursuing it will be Speedbird, who will lose possession to Kalamata. And this Team Mute is just so strong on offense and defense right now.
Definitely up high though, slapped through by Horse and into the side wall, back retained by Emperor. Emperor ducking and dipping below, looking for a bottom pass. Right idea, a little bit strong, a little bit too much mustard or pepper, as Sput called it earlier, and now delivering a clear right through that tunnel into the opposite end.
And it will go into the hands of Ocean High, the backline player of Team Mute. But Team Mute's just going to slow it down. They have this 2-point advantage. They're looking to secure this win in 2 rounds. They'll send it down to Master Game. And they're just going to take their time. But Master Game won't find it through mid as it bounces off the Geo. But quick to retrieve it is Ocean. And again, they'll try and find that clear. It's now in the hands of Horse. But not able to do anything with it. He's under coverage. And again, just quick passing from Team Mute.
And Emperor now pass right over to Master Game. He's going to have it stolen right from behind. Almost, just as he tried to wind up that disc for a shot on a very bothered goalie there. But all the meanwhile, there's the pass, beautifully delivered, but look at that. Speedbird, another grab, but in the wingspan there, Master Game couldn't complete the 2-point goal.
And it will sail out of bubble. They've had a lot of dings this round. They need to capitalize on these shots. Their positioning and their possession has been so strong. And this long shot attempt will come through and be picked up by Ocean High at the back line.
Now trying to get the disc to the left side. It will go clear through, be kind of in line with the goal, a little bit too low, however, but nonetheless retained here by the boosted Speedbird. Speedbird needs to get rid of that with some speed. And on the other side, another slap by Emperor Ming, and a little bit of pong and ping here.
Definitely pinging it and ponging it around this court. The possession is going between both of these teams. It's almost half time, and it's still only 1 score on the board, so this is extremely physical play. There hasn't been much time stoppage. And slowing it down is Emperor Ming, trying to find these angles. He's going to send it through. It will bounce off Bowtie. And looking to pick it up is a member of Team Mute, but not able to get it initially. Kalamata will get the stun, get possession, and try to find that cross pass. But it's just back and forth from both of these teams with 4 minutes and 50 seconds on the clock.
Some pretty nice positioning and spacing on the floor here from Team Mute. You see they got some members high, they got some members low, spreading the floor now, left, right, and center, trying to hit that goal, dead center off a great delivery on the pass, but oh, another very near miss at just hitting those poles almost more so than the goal, which is very, very tough because there's been some great looks off of great passing.
They've been playing strong, they've been finding these advantages, but they just can't finalize their shots on goal. So they'll send it through, they'll try and get their passing. Emperor Ming will be under cover. He'll find a clear through tube. So just strong play from both of these teams, and just incredibly strong play from Team Mute, but they just can't find these goals.
Yeah, the Speedbird still needing to find. I mean, they're going to take it. You know, if Team Mute can't convert on the goals, they're gladly here on Absolute Unit going to take that and try and use that to their advantage. Now, 3-point shot, a little bit off, however, and back to the line. The orange line now as a clear, and the boost comes out, and maybe a goal opportunity, but nope, there's the Stacks getting back on the defense for the moment. Oh, and no one too soon. Actually, that was a zinger of a shot from Emperor.
Absolutely, such a strong shot. They're able to find that head-on shot from 9 meters, so they haven't been able to have much success on their offensive pushes this round, but they found that one there, and then rematch will go through, a time stoppage will go through, so in the second round, a 5-point advantage to Team Mute.
Yeah, I did hear, I wasn't sure who it was, I believe it was Absolute, not positive, but I think it was Absolute who initiated that first one. I heard stuff on comms calling for timeouts at some point, but But yes, so after that goal was scored, that's I think it's a ping thing is what they're saying right now. So, but yeah, looks like indeed a little bit of stoppage here in the second round. Absolute Unit just trying to make that comeback a thing and force that round 3, as we do love to see.
But back and forth in this second round. Sorry, I was getting some water, but Sheep's Knuckle saying in chat before with that smart reset on the initial goal from Team Mute. Team Mute having really strong positioning, really strong passing in the second round, but they just weren't able to find their shots on target. But
Yeah.
before the time stoppage, they found that 3-pointer from 9 meters and allowing one of their players to put interference on the goalie of Absolute Unit to secure that 3-pointer and secure this 5-point lead.
Yeah, so right now the team's just trying to figure it out at the moment. They have, well, one player over on Team Mute with about 140 ping approaching. They have one player on Absolute Unit with 200 to 300 ping. So kind of double dose of ping situations, it seems, at play.
And what do the players do in this situation?
Good question. Well, the player with that ping spiked into the 2 and 300s is kind of back to the 100s now. Well, I take that back. Just Caster's cursed it immediately. So they're trying to figure it out if they need to get a substitute situation. Of course, that 150 ping limit of sorts is there. If any player goes above 150 sustained, we're not talking about spikes, but if there's a sustained ping issue, the teams are entitled to trying to work in a substitute situation, and they can get up to 15 minutes if a sub is needed. At the moment, no mod, to my knowledge, has been contacted. League org channel is clear, so they might just be discussing among themselves, maybe restarting at some point. But otherwise, your guess is good as mine.
Are the players allowed to play with this ping? I mean, at this point, I feel like with both players, one player on each team having high ping, they might as well just accept it and continue to play through.
Well, it's up to their discretion, certainly. Again, the rules are a little bit discretionary when it comes to the ping, again, because, well, it has to be. That's the part of online play that, it's hard to just solidify, with a one hard rule. At the end of the day, it's sustained over 150 ping, but it's still ultimately up to the players to determine whether they want to press the issue or just play amongst themselves. If a league mod isn't called into the mix, or to try and decide, they just keep playing on. I mean, that's ultimately going to be their discretion here.
So it looks like
we do see another player joining here for Team Mute, so maybe another rostered member, perhaps.
So it looks like Team Mute will bring an Orbit store. Can't speak today. I've been talking too much, and it looks like Dune's ping will also drop to an acceptable level.
Right. And while checking the list as well, though, so for Orbit here, not a player I'm seeing on the currently registered roster on the website, so that could be problematic unless he's a sub.
Is he also a registered sub on the sub list?
That is what I was looking into and can confirm not the case, it would seem. So not a registered sub, and at least for Team Mute, not a registered player that I can tell.
And Lone Leak coming through in chat saying Orbit joined Absolute Unit yesterday, but he's not. He is showing up on their roster. I'm looking at the player page.
He was on blue team, which is Team Mute, so that's why I was looking at Team Mute's page. But if they're on Absolute Unit, that's a entirely different matter. And indeed, you are correct.
Well, thanks to Lone Leak for making me double check from his message in chat.
Yeah. So I'm not sure what the stream is looking at there. Oh, yeah, there we go. There you go. Yeah, because I was looking at Team Mute since Urbit was on blue team there. But checking both would have been handy. That said, players still discussing, so we're just still here discussing with each other and the stream.
Absolutely. And looking at the scoreboard, Emperor Ming with a ping of 136, jumping up a little bit, but Dune with also a high ping. So it's looking like these pings are stabilizing, but Absolute Unit will bring an Orbit Star. So we have to wait to see what these teams are going to do.
Yeah, and gotta wonder how that will play into the rest of the match. I know there's not a lot of time remaining, granted. 3:38 it looks like. 0-5 favoring Absolute Unit, or favoring a Team Mute rather. But Absolute Unit with a disc is what I meant to say there. Cheers to Subtlety for communicating that to the teams, or at least trying to there in the Discord chat. But yeah, interesting. So you get a player here who just joined the roster recently, according to Twitch chat there. Sheep Knuckles definitely giving the compliments, and maybe about to hop in rather unexpectedly. So that'll be interesting to see. If he's even warmed up at all.
Which is a good point. Is that they're going to bring in a player? They're going to ice themselves, or maybe ice the other team. You don't know if that's also a factor. So coming back from the stoppage and play, you don't know who's going to come out on top, but able to find that 3 points that pushed that lead to 5 points. It was Team Mute, so it will be Joust advantage to Absolute Unit to start this off when we resume play.
Yeah, now we got another player, perhaps subbing in on the Mute side. Blazer now coming in. And Blazer is a rostered member of Mute. Now, do want to take this opportunity, not that it's a heinous violation occurring right now, but just to mention in case they listen on the stream a little bit later too, you can't, once a match is underway, even though we're kind of in between rounds right now, typically you can't have 5 players in the arena at any given time, typically. So if you're replacing, you usually want to drop one first and then bring them in. But being that this is, extended timeout, rookie teams, not going to drop any hammers, but just kind of for future notice. If you're going to trade off players, make sure that one leaves first. But yeah, we're fine.
And looking like they got that message, so looks like I don't even remember Blazer, I think, would join for Team Mute. Looks like he will drop. Oh no, he will stay.
Yeah.
So they will drop Emperor Ming, I believe. So yes, they will drop Emperor Ming, and it looks like Absolute Unit's discussing what they're gonna do in the locker room.
Yeah, now bit of a conflict here. So based off what I'm hearing from the comms, there's kind of an interesting discrepancy between what the score and time should be compared to what these players are discussing. So as noted in the League Org channel, when that goal was scored, it was 0-5, favoring the Team Mute there. Meanwhile, over right now, they've got, 2 on the scoreboard, and then mentioning that it should be 7 minutes even, which is very strange. So
Definitely.
I'm not sure if they kind of made an agreement of the timeout being way before that round, or that last score went through, because I know the restart was initiated several minutes before a score actually happened, is a thing. But again, when it comes to the timeout situations, it's either like if you have a player crash or tech issues, so it would be either after 45 seconds have expired and you lost your player, or after the next goal is scored is when you take the timeouts. But yeah, as Chad is mentioning, YOLO Van, well, this ain't it. Yeah, I have no idea. Now they're putting it to 3 minutes. Score is still incorrect. Hopefully they correct for that. Little bit of disarray here, and it tends to happen at times between rookie teams, so I'm not going to give them too much grief. And this is the third and final match of this stream, so again, it is what it is. We'll roll with it and chalk it up to a learning experience.
Absolutely, and looking like they're finally getting the hang of it. I mean, I said, you have little faith. They know what they're doing. They might have a little bit of a learning curve, but they're getting it all, and they're doing it. So Absolute Unit will find the correct time. I might have misspoke, so maybe you were right. They are now changing the time, so I don't know.
Ye have too much faith, maybe? Either or. They're going back and forth between the two. We're just gonna roll with what they go. At the end of the day, if these teams agree to something, I can't moderate or communicate from my chair and the caster's booth, so unless unless either of the teams actually ping a mod. We're gonna go with what they decide here collectively. But nonetheless, I do want to also go back because a while ago, I'm not sure if we mentioned it. I saw Sheep Knuckles shouting out subtlety there. Shout out to the cameraman. That was a really challenging point to follow, and it felt like we got all the angles. Hashtag props. Well, thank you for that hashtag compliment to subtlety there for the great camera work across these matches, and I've been doing them more throughout the last several days, especially there, helping alongside. I know Dimwee getting involved in the cams there, especially when I had those tech issues and some other business going on. Definitely helping out on the camming end of things. I know Sputnik here is ready very soon to get worked into the camera assets, the stream assets. So that'll be great. We have Swift, who just got involved in the stream assets and has already cammed and casted a match just yesterday. And then Mini Hat as well will be camming some matches. So a lot of new cameramen getting worked into the mix, and it's always good to see.
So looking at chat, Sphinx saying Team Mute is not wanting to ready up under these conditions, and they don't have to. So maybe we do need a league moderator to communicate that they are obligated to play under the existing time, which was 3 minutes and 38 seconds and 5 points to Team Mute.
Well, again, too, it's the case. Now, I might have to look up the specifics myself because the thing is, it depends on when the timeout was initiated. The problem is spectator side, like Subtlety and myself and Sput, we can't hear when the timeout was actually initiated for whatever reason within the game. We don't hear those restart dings that the players do. Now, that said, I did notice in the open comms someone calling it, and I noticed a little while later during the middle of the offense before a goal was scored, someone for Absolute Unit, I do believe, went back to actually put the restart request in. So I'm just trying to find that out because there's a 45-second timeout rule after tech issues, but I'm trying to see if that applies to just crashes only or just timeouts in general.
And I guess there are extenuating circumstances that I don't understand. So saying in chat, Dune saying we noticed high ping early in round 2 and they couldn't hear us to reset. So maybe there was a bit of miscommunication and things can't always be communicated verbally. So like I said, there might be extenuating circumstances that I don't understand.
Yeah. And for that matter, I might even be out of date. I'm trying to check up here. That 45-second thing may have just been a season 1 thing at the end of the day, but whatever the case is, one of the weaknesses kind of got to work around, I suppose, currently existing systems and indeed of these teams doing open comms but muting each other. It comes with its disadvantages, of course, in that, well, it's kind of hard to communicate when you need to the other team. So I know a lot of times in the past, teams and players would kind of make a general agreement of either leaving maybe one specific player unmuted for each team or just gesturing to players if you happen to need a restart, a certain waving gesture or what have you to
you can
do things like that. But
make the T. Put your hand over. I mean, you got to do it a bunch of times, but if you vigorously wave your hands and gesture like you're screaming, maybe they'll pick it up. But like I said, or like you said, with the muting and comms, it's very difficult to communicate, and you're gonna have to really gesture aggressively or grandiosely to communicate that.
Yeah, I mean, I just pinged the teams myself just to see. I mean, we haven't gotten any public communication from the teams is a problem. So pinging them on Discord again to see if they need some assistance. But at the end of the day, not hearing too much. Looks like one of them are typing. A couple of them are typing now, so there we go. But trying to figure that out. Princess saying, why didn't they hit the restart after 45 seconds? That's a problem. So they may have. I didn't hear the ping itself, but I did notice a player went to initiate a restart after a certain period. I know the restart request was made, as mentioned, several minutes before it actually happened, but the problem is neither team was scoring. Now, after a certain period of time, one of the teams went back into their spawn area and pressed the button to call a timeout. And I can't confirm for sure because, again, spectators don't actually hear that ding in the arena, unfortunately, when a timeout is pressed or restarts pressed. So I'm just kind of assuming here, but.
So Sphinx coming through in chat saying, I'm really confused when someone crashes. Is that considered an automatic restart request?
after the next goal is scored, you can initiate a restart, or after 45 seconds, I'm fairly sure, unless that rule has changed recently, which I could be out of date to be fair, which is why I don't try to moderate from my chair when I'm casting, but
Princess
anyway.
coming through in chat confirming that, saying that you are correct. So it looks like they have agreed on a time. I don't want to speak too soon because I really don't know.
Yeah. Well, looks like taking care of that in the Discord. So apologies for the delays. For those who are still sticking with us, appreciate that. Definitely going on a wee bit longer than we intended, but you know, it happens. Looks like they agreed to 2-0, 7 minutes left, which means things still need to be adjusted here because there's 5 on the scoreboard. But either way, we'll figure it out, or they'll figure it out, or one of the mods will. But ideally we'll start soon, and maybe we are actually. So I'm not sure anymore, folks. I'm just gonna wing it because right now it feels like we're winging it here with these two teams. Not a lot of comments coming through. We got 338, but we got 5 on the scoreboard, so forget what they agreed to. We're just gonna be very agreeable as we go out here onto the ending conclusion of round 2. Maybe, possibly. It looks like that's the case as it goes off the wall, and finally into the hands of Ocean High. We're back into the match.
And coming back with that energy is Palidore, so these players looking to start off this second round after the time stoppage, trying to send it through mid. Kalamata with possession, gonna slap it up, another slap up. Trying to get that forward position is a member of Team Mute, and he finds the angle, so Kalamata will put another 2 points on the board. 3 minutes on the clock, 34 seconds goal time, and really coming back from this time stoppage with a lot of force is Team Mute.
And we'll be 7-0 as a result. This is the second round again. Team Mute already had won that first. And Absolute Unit now trying to come out with some time to spare, but certainly the rhythm is not going to be there, I think, for either of these teams, really. But we'll see if I'm wrong on that one, as a deep pass might bounce, but no, just a little bit off the mark here, and retained by Blazer.
Blazer will try and find that back pass, will bounce off the wall. Kalamata will pick it up, so they have the 7-point advantage. And they will send it through mid. It will miss its pass, but it will bounce off the Geo and be picked up by Ciotos of Absolute Unit.
And now cleared right back into the blue side, into the awaiting hands of Ocean High. Now Ocean getting that clear. 2 minutes left here, and getting stuck though in that pocket. Once again obtained and sent through successfully this time by Master.
A lot of boosting and clearing, a lot of clears and a lot of transitional play, but Kalamata looking to get possession, not able to get it as he gets stunned out. And that clear will go through the second line player's hands, Master Game, and they will look to pick it up in their bubble.
And just slipping past the reach there of Orbit. And that's gonna bounce mighty close, gonna ding off the post, still gonna be obtained anyway, and plenty of time to walk it right in after a little bit of hesitation, just to stare the defense in the face, as if there wasn't enough delays already. For the slam dunk, 9 points.
I don't know if that was a delay as much as that was just running out the clock. They have this 9-point advantage. They just want to run out the clock and finish this series.
Wasn't that what a delay is?
Well, I don't know.
Also, it's a continuous clock, so there is no delays. What are you talking about? Anyway, Jesus Horse with a disc, and is going to be encroached upon by the defensive Master Game, but on the other side, Blazer with a disc here.
And they will find that pass through mid to Master Game. Master Game has this advantage in the bubble. He'll take it. Bouncing off the backboard, 11-meter three, 12 points to Team Mute.
And Master Game giving a little bit of the old shrug, the MJ shrug there. Not really intending to make that off the backboard, but he did. And it still went in, and you know what? Master Game is going to take that, certainly.
24 seconds on the clock. Joust advantage to Absolute Unit. looking to get this pass, maybe get some points on the board in this second round is Horus. Horus able to avoid that defender, send it down court. Orbit Star with possession, going for that attempt. It will bounce off the crossbar and be picked up by Speedbird, and he's not able to find that angle, so they will finish this round. Team Mute will shut out Absolute Unit and sweep in this series.
So the dozen points here. Indeed, closing out the second round after a few minutes left on the clock off that restart, and able to finish out strong still yet, as we do conclude this game in this stream. And we're going to go to the stat sheet soon, but just to address chat really quickly as well. So if there are issues again with rules or that needs rule clarification, whether if a team's not listening to a ping or desire to restart and this and that, whatever the reason is, the thing is, I don't blame the players all that much, because I kind of realized the whole timeout system until we get a timeout button in the game, which hopefully will come eventually. It is a bit complicated, especially if you need those mid-round restarts. It's not the most streamlined thing in the world to accomplish. I realize that. But the thing is, yeah, if there are issues, mods do need to be pinged and communicated with, which wasn't really the case. So, in this case, we're casting, sitting here watching it and such. But, for the vast majority of the time, if there are issues, it really is dependent on the teams able to either, agree on what the appropriate course of action was, or if they can't agree and figure it out, that's when you need to ping league moderators in the league org channel. Get some refereeing in to kind of figure out exactly the situation. But otherwise, yeah, much too difficult really to juggle from the casting end. But that's why we have a great moderating team, always active and responding to pings very, very quickly in the Discord. But yes, as I said, don't blame the teams at all there. It's going to happen at least once to most rookie teams at some point, where there'll just be issues. They don't quite know what to do. And that's just the nature of competition. And it's not a huge deal, especially since this was the last match of the stream. So, no harm, no foul ultimately, but just for next time, so teams know and viewers know at home.
Definitely. So, with that being said, it will be a victory to Team Mute in 2 rounds. 7 points will go to Master Game of Team Mute. 1 assist will go to Blazer. 3 stuns. Ocean High will find 1 assist, 1 save, 12 stuns. Kalamata will find 8 points, 1 assist, 1 save, 1 steal. And Emperor Ming will come through with 5 points, 2 assists, and 2 steals. And on absolute units, we will have Speedbird with 4 points, 2 saves, 2 steals, 12 stuns. Ciotos with 1 save and 11 stuns. Horse with 1 assist, 1 save, and 1 steal, 11 stuns. Orbit Star, well, he came in for a little bit. He wasn't needed, so he will not have any stats. And Dune will come away with 2 saves, 2 steals, and 31 stuns.
Yeah, so as the case may be, I think, yeah, Discord chat may be continuing in there. So will be discussed if you want to all migrate to there in the chat. If there are any other questions about that stuff, definitely ping, again, any of the moderators or me when I'm not casting, we can kind of clarify. But yes, I do want to just note, at least from the remaining players in this game, the 7 players, I have comms open in my ear again. Still good sportsmanship, all things considered. There's some frustrations, I think, clearly from the delays, but actually very, very nice sportsmanship being shown there from the majority here remaining. So shout out to that. That's why I say, we'll work through it. Little misstep. Rest of week 3 and beyond will be good. But anyway, all right. So I think that'll do it here on our end of the streams. So thank you all for joining us and for your patience and for joining us for all those matches. Definitely some fun ones today across these 4 or 5 matches that we've streamed. And yeah, we'll be back again at it tomorrow, no doubt. But until then, thank you to everyone again for joining. Thank you to our sponsors, ProTube VR, VR Cover, Rebuff Reality, Fixed Gaming, and VRware, as well as to our league moderators, Wit, Nada, Sneaky Evil, Princess, Elakos, Gilligan, Echo Zero, and Dano McFabulous. Thanks to so much for Subtlety for camming, SputnikKobra for casting next to me. I've been Palidore. This has been VRML Week 3, and we'll see you again real soon. Be happy, be healthy, be safe, be good to each other, and bye.